Okay, welcome back. I will talk briefly on the journey that the project had, connecting at points with specifically to the library, but more importantly to the vision that the National Digital Library of India project has had so far. Uh, so this is our stated vision, as you have known or may have guessed from the discussions in the morning, to make it a key driving force in education, research, and knowledge sharing in the country. With a specific mission statements that we follow is we are focused on facilitating learning, education for every student of India and abroad, across the world, to create a 24/7 enabled infrastructure and to protect India's culture and present it in academic and scientific heritage circles. Our motto is being open and inclusive. When I say open, we try to be open in every respect, whether it's open data, it's open access, open license, even open software. We do not, except for the operating system and some security software, we do not use any commercial or world software. We use everything which is open source, and our whole infrastructure is available for others to use as well. We are inclusive in also multiple of different ways. One is this library is being positioned for learning at every stage of someone's life. It may be early school, kind of the time you can actually start operating things digitally, which may be, well, I don't know, on mobile it may be 2 years or maybe even less, 18 months. That's when people learn to swipe and start swiping faster than you and I could do. And moving on to school, college, university, lifelong learning, everything. So it's inclusive in terms of the level of education, disciplines of education. It's inclusive in terms of the language in which this whole thing operates, which is a very critical factor for India, because we have 22 official languages beside English, in which at least a full of the school education can be done. So there are certain additional inclusivity mandates that does come onto the project, and we are inclusive in terms of, I would say, geographies as well. Though the library is called National Digital Library of India, but so far we have kept accesses in a way that anybody anywhere in the world can use it exactly in the same way that someone in India can. So this has been the main mottos, and many of you may actually already be a user. So on the left is our web presence, on the right is a mobile app on Android, on iOS. The Government of India has a utility portal called Umang on mobile. It's available through Umang as well. These are some of the languages through which the library can be operated. It's currently, I believe, that we have 7 Indian languages, and we are slowly adding more and more. So somebody can completely manage this digital library in any of these languages. And this is the official URL to register. Don't need to remember that. It's easiest to go to Google, type National Digital Library of India. It is guaranteed that amongst the top 3 search results, you'll find this link and you can register. It's free, you just need an email address. So at this point, before I go into a quick round tour of the last 4 years, I would like to draw your attention to a small video which says what we are. Please. Audio is not coming.
भारत देश सन 1947 को ब्रिटिश हुकूमत के चंगुल से आज़ाद हुआ। देश की आज़ादी के बाद एक लोकतंत्र की स्थापना हुई थी। आज समय आ गया है कि हम शिक्षा को भी democratize करें।
The National Digital Library of India is truly built of the people, by the people and for the people. It is our knowledge legacy to future generations.
ఈ ఉద్యమాన్ని దేశ నలుమూలలా వ్యాపింపజేసి ప్రజలకు మంచి నాణ్యమైన చదువు అందించాలనే ఉద్దేశంతో నేషనల్ డిజిటల్ లైబ్రరీ ఆఫ్ ఇండియా ఏర్పడింది.
छोटे बच्चे हैं जो पूरी प्रिविलेज नहीं ले पाने सी बुक्स दी या जर्नल्स दी कुछ अच्छा मटेरियल जिस तो वांझे रह जाते सी उन्होंने बहुत अच्छे तरीके नाल मिल सकता है.
इंटरनेटर सहायत मोबाइल टेक्नोलॉजी और कम्प्यूटर यूज करी भारतर सकलो शिक्षार्थीये सकलो ठाइर পৰা नेशनल डिजिटल लाइब्रेरी ऑफ इंडिया यूज কৰিব পাৰে.
શિક્ષણ પદ્ધતિ છે, વ્યવહારિક જ્ઞાન છે, થીસિસ છે, டிசர்டேஷன்ஸ் છે.
நாங்கள் இந்த தேசிய லைசன்ஸ் பயன்படுத்துவதனால இந்த நூலகத்தின் உள்ளடக்கத்தை எல்லோரும் இலவசமாக நாடு தழுவி பயன்படுத்தலாம்.
আমাদের ন্যাশনাল ডিজিটাল লাইব্রেরি এমন একটা প্ল্যাটফর্ম যা আমাদের সভ্যতা, সংস্কৃতি এবং শিক্ষার সম্পদকে বাঁচিয়ে রাখতে সাহায্য করে.
The true success of a library lies with its users. Hence, I invite all of India to make use of this platform.
I am National Digital Library of India.
I am in National Digital Library of India.
I am the National Digital Library of India.
मैं नेशनल डिजिटल लाइब्रेरी ऑफ इंडिया.
মই નેશનલ ડિજિટલ લાઇબ્રેરી ઓફ ઇન્ડિયા.
నేను నేషనల్ డిజిటల్ లైబ్రరీ ఆఫ్ ఇండియా.
હું છું નેશનલ ડિજિટલ લાઇબ્રેરી ઓફ ઇન્ડિયા.
நான் இந்தியாவின் தேசிய நூலகம்.
मी निरुपमा बावडेकर नॅशनल डिजिटल लायब्ररी ऑफ इंडिया आहे.
I am National Digital Library of India.
मैं नेशनल डिजिटल लाइब्रेरी ऑफ इंडिया.
আমি ন্যাশনাল ডিজিটাল লাইব্রেরি
We are National Digital Library of India.
Okay, thank you. So this was just to get on to you as to what India is and what we need to cater for. So I'll take a quick journey that we started in 2014 when we conceptualized, April 2015 when we got started, and certainly the first phase. I mean, these are mental phases. These are not ministries administrative phases. The mental phase that we had, can we do this? I remember the first couple of gatherings that I addressed, and very duly I was torn apart with questions which I could not answer. I did not know library science. I did not know how something at the scale of this can at all happen. So it was kind of proving that it can happen. We did create metadata structure with the help of some of our very learned library science colleagues. We created the infrastructure where this will be hosted. And then slowly we started moving forward, and we identified that if such an initiative has to succeed, then we need partners. We need the whole of India to buy into this idea, and we launched into a major pan-India institutional digital repository workshop. You can see at various different places where it happened. This is an old number. At present the number certainly are a lot more. So that started, kind of telling us that, well, things may be possible, and we started reaching some nice numbers like 1.6 crore or 16 million content, about 160 sources, different languages, users, and so on. And well, we were happily out of the uncertain phase of can we do this, and so the next challenge was how do we grow. So the growing phase, which went through a series of actually stabilizing the whole platform from alpha release to beta release, reaching different content count milestones. Mobile apps got released, and finally the phase 2 of the project started after 30 months of initial growth. So in this time we started setting up regional center. You can see on right top there at Guwahati, IIT Guwahati, we have a regional center. This is primarily to cater to the 8 sister states of Northeast who are relatively more difficult to reach from the location that we are in, which is somewhere by the side of the Bay of Bengal in Bengal. And also that's a region where has a very rich diversity of culture, which is ethnic as well as modern in a very mixed way. So IIT Guwahati Regional Center is helping us integrate those and reach out to those. Later on, we started a center at Anna Central University in Chennai, because that's the South has a different richness in terms of language and cultural diversity. That center kind of takes care of three language related education and is expanding a lot. We naturally did KDL 2017, which gave us a lot of confidence. We kept on expanding the outreach, growing on our partners, and these are some of the glimpses of things that kept on happening in terms of the news. We won a M Billion at South Asia award for our mobile app very early. We were really proud, and well, we started realizing that, well, the growth has to have, continuously a look forward mechanism. So we kind of, at least in terms of driving, we're going through a looking forward phase where KDL gave us a lot of boost in October 2017, and we started setting ourselves different content and partnership targets. In March we reached some, and finally on 19th June 2018, this project was officially launched and dedicated to the nation by the then HRD Minister Prakash Javadekar ji, and the official journey of commitment to the citizens of India just had begun with that. As I said in my inaugural address itself, that we did realize around this time, early 2017, that international outreach is very key for growth, both internal, or organic growth in terms of knowledge, learning, as well as maybe collaborative growth in terms of learning, content, and all those. And these are some of the instances. What you see on the right top are European support to us. They did allow us to be present in the European Tech Conference. I'm thankful to them. Harry, their executive director, is presently here. And we did a lot of other partnership internationally to keep on learning. Now at this point, we started pondering as to, well, what are we doing? I mean, are we, well, we will go from a traditional library to a digital library. The question of, or the definition of a digital library is kind of blurring the whole notion of library. So certainly there are traditional library has services, and when you make them digital, you are primarily preserving those services and just expanding on scale, and that expansion is humongous. But to our understanding, the role of a digital library does not end there. It kind of gives you an opportunity to provide extensional services in terms of anytime access, multimedia data format, multimedia presentations, which traditionally were not happening so much. And then very importantly, there are disruptive aspects which can be looked at. That where we have so far understood knowledge to be in terms of books, then articles, then videos, but well, can data be the knowledge? And if data is a knowledge, then the whole process of discovery of data and interpretation of data becomes a part of the library and the learning. So those are the disruptive aspects which are becoming a reality because of the advances in artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning. All that you mean is the latest enabling technologies. So how to get them in terms of actually in the context of digital library design. So it's need to equip future generations with relevant applications-based training, need to allow relevant access at this scale in terms of build manpower of international standard, cost-effective collaborative solutions. So these were kind of the questions that are coming in, because what we had already is a core which had a substantial amount of content and a comfortable initial number of users. But what is the model? What is the kind of learning model that kept on thoughts going in? So we, in early 2000 or middle of 2018, actually, we started what now I recognize as a looking beyond phase, where we started working with several other new partners who are not merely content partners. They are actually technology and research partners to explore into various areas where the technology can be built, new research results can be done, and in the process, the digital library can be enriched. So we started with a medical data image project with Tata Medical Center. We started NDLI Club and concept to reach out to the end consumers, whether it is at the school level, at a college level, or at a village unit, where some places it is a physical entity, some places it's a logical entity, where there are facilitators who actually show or make it available to the end users as to how they can benefit from this library. There are various activities which we started planning over that. We launched the NDLI AI project. I'll talk a little bit more about that. You possibly haven't had a reference to that in PPC's address as well. We did realize that OCR for Indian languages is a big challenge. In English now, if you scan a document at even a moderate DPI and you give it to the OCR, even the Google OCR, which is completely freely available, you get a decent transcription done at about 98-99%. You take any of the Indian language scripts, that rate is extremely poor. I mean, there are a lot of claims that there are OCRs. Yes, there are, but unless the OCR is at 95-96% at least, then it's not usable. It's not usable at least in terms of providing services. So we partnered with other organizations to develop final production level Indian language OCR. We launched a book fair. We participated in the book fair, which is the largest book fair of the world. We took wanted to take the rights statement, which is, what kind of rights that we need to work with in terms of particularly cultural heritage, and brought them there. And finally, we are here talking about KEDL. So these are some of the things that have been happening. We won Gems of Digital India Award recently. We launched our 9th club recently. These are some of the activities I just mentioned. So in the core of it, if you see that what we are trying to explore is, you have a very strong enabler technology. The major change, it says that there are major changes that happen in the growth of technology at times. And AI and machine learning, they have been catchy for a long time, but what has become now that they have become enablers. So it's not only that they themselves help you solve problem, but they are giving you techniques which are higher order compared to what you have been doing 2 years back. So it's kind of the research growth has been exponential, and whether we can absorb that and see how AI can be effectively used in digital library. I've just listed some of the opportunities which was in a different way summarized by Plavon in his program overview, and that's what he tried to capture. And also the fact that in AI itself, in the enabler technology itself, you can bring in the concepts of the library and create something which gives you a much stronger tool. It's research needs data, and there are several, again, as your book collections and articles are dispersed all over, the benchmark data collections are dispersed at several different sites. The benchmark data collections are not standardized in terms of some metadata annotation, so that you can easily find that, well, if you're looking at transportation, then these are the attributed benchmark data that you can use. There's not much annotations in terms of the algorithms, third-party software that are available for analyzing data. So if you look at those as digital objects and kind of go through this basic digital library processing, then you get a different platform for AI which you can throw onto a cloud, so that while someone is search and browse, at that point itself, the person can actually put his or her own data onto the algorithm on the cloud without actually having to bring those down to the desktop, or their own algorithms onto the existing benchmark data to see how things perform. So that's a kind of dual role which we recognized which is going to happen, and that has led to a lot of different satellite activities. Personalized learning was already there. Surrogated was there. So this is the OCR for Indian languages. We collaborate with IIT Jodhpur and IIIT Hyderabad on this project, and we'll have a specific lecture on this initiative later in this conference, so I'll not go into further. This is the AI initiative I've been talking about. So this is kind of a platform where we are trying to create a data library, an algorithms library, and a backbone of cloud credits that's available courtesy AWS of Amazon, where users would be able to. So we have some of the representatives of this initiative in this conference attending, so you may want to talk more about them. This is another milestone satellite project that we are initiated around National Digital Library of India. This is, unfortunately, India does not have a medical data bank, which is kind of surprising, but it's true. So our procedures and treatment protocols are based on the data taken from United States or Europe. And that is causing a severe difficulty for the doctors in treating us, particularly in the kind of more complicated diseases like cancer and so on. Because the cancer data on which our protocol is set is based on US population who are scanned regularly from the age of 40 years. But someone in India who is detected at, say, 55 years has not been scanned ever in their life. There is ethnic differences, there are differences in terms of food habits. So it's very critical to have data banking, and this is a modest effort to say that, can we look at it from the digital library perspective, and we are partnering with Tata Medical Center in Kolkata to have started on that. TCIA, the biggest medical data bank in the US, is supporting this whole initiative, and again, applying a whole lot of AI to do things which can bring new directions to the digital library. This is our presence in the last book fair. We are again going to be there in next January. There was a lot of footfall and everybody excited to learn about all this, some of the other initiatives around. So I would like to conclude here because certainly I'm here to listen to all of you, not to talk so much. And some of the different questions from my perspectives that I'm looking answers for as to the trichotomy between output, outreach, and outcome. I mean, we have started realizing as a group, as a nation, that outcome is what we should work for. So far, projects were significantly driven by output. So output has been delivered. I consider NDLI has significantly produced output. But is it producing outcome? It's and the means between that, as I see, is outreach, because user is somewhere else. So I'd like to learn about more of that. There are several rights-related questions and access-related questions, like what is left, what is right, how far of open access is possible, how far of rights are imposable, or how do they interact between them. There's a whole lot of linked data that Plavon talked about. Digital heritage, it's close to my heart. I love heritage, and I therefore love digital heritage a lot. And that's kind of my small introduction of the journey that we have had so far. I hope, David, that this leaves time for a couple of questions. Thank you all very much for your attention.
Using up precious seconds now. Good morning. See, technology and developing a digital library is one aspect. What is equally important is the contents. And contents also Indian contents. You are taking care of our heritage issues. You are taking care of our, other information sources. So what we have to, in my opinion, where we should concentrate is more on, the Indian contents, more on the contents which are basically, going to lapse over the period of time. We have, very good medical practices, which are the local medical practices. We have got very good, issues with local dance, local culture, and all these things. They should be somehow captured. They should be somehow the part of the Indian system on one side. On another side, the material for our farmers, material for downtrodden. So this is where, the consultation is required, and that is the need of the nation. So how you are going about this? What are the proposals for, covering these kind of items?
Thank you for the question. It's a great question. It's certainly with your experience, you know exactly where I was very purposefully silent. So one part of that on which we have been very active, I would answer is a big concern is getting educational material in Indian languages, particularly at a school level, because on one side we are saying this library can be used in 7 languages, but then if you go in and look for, say, Bangla content, Bengali content, you'll find very, very few. So what's happening is you are telling people that you can use the library in Bengali to find English content, which is stupid. So we have been looking around, and after some research, what we came around is we need a lot of wide-based participation for content. And the best group who in India has been working on this is Wikimedia Foundation. So that's the reason we have Wikimedia Foundation here. They have a partner in CIS TK who are out of Bangalore and are very active in organizing different state-based language communities for this requirement. So yesterday for about 4 hours in the morning, we have had a joint meeting, and we are going to sign a tripartite agreement between the three to mobilize communities, different crowdsourcing for creating specific content in educational material area. Some of the other questions you have raised there, sir, you are from government, you have known government, so you understand that some of the other areas are outside the purview of FHRD. So however interested I may be, I need the cooperation from Ministry of Culture to be able to do that. Indigenous knowledge significantly come under Ministry of Culture. we are in significant discussion with IJNCA with the support from Dr. Ramesh Gaur to be able to do this together, but we hail to 2 different ministries, so we need to sort that out. That's my sincere answer to what you have asked.
Thank you for that. We can squeeze in one more quick question with a quick answer. So from the second row at the front there, thank you.
I think it's a very excellent presentation. Dr. Das described it very nicely. But my question is, he is talk about right and access to the information, and anybody can access this NDL from anywhere. But I just wanted to know the copyright issues, like what are the process, what are the things you are maintaining regarding the copyrights?
I will not answer this question, madam, because we have a presentation from the expert of NDL on this, who has been working for last 48 hours without sleeping, so that he can bring a concrete answer to it. This will be answered by Professor Prabhuddha Ganguly.
Okay, that's perfect. Thank you. So yes, a lot more detail coming. So
thank you very much.
Yes, so thank you very much. Please join me one more